Alrighty y'all, so what we have here is my 2015 Porsche Macan S, and today we're going to be changing the fluid on the transfer case. And this is actually a very common issue for the V6 models of the Macan, and when your transfer case is going out, it starts to shudder at low RPMs, especially around first and second gear. First thing to do is to just change the fluid and see if that helps. If not, you have to get a replacement part, and that's going to be very expensive. Porsche quotes around 20 grand for this service, or you can buy a remanufactured one for around 4K just for the part alone and get an independent person to work on it for you. Now there's a whole bunch of more services I want to do on this car in the next few weeks. I want to flush the differential, the rear differential, the front one as well, which is actually the clutch pack, along with the PDK transmission and the filters and the gaskets on the transmission. That's going to be for a separate video, but today I'm just doing the transfer case. So this is everything you need, and it's actually pretty affordable. All you need is the transfer case fluid, which actually says transmission oil on here, interestingly enough, but the part number is correct. So I'll leave all the information in the description below if you guys want to pick any of this stuff up. And I did also get some new bolts here, transfer case oil drain plug. I got two because there's actually two areas they got to open up, and I want to just replace them just for peace of mind. And then one of these, which is a syringe, because you have to actually inject the fluid into the transfer case, because it's not like a normal oil change, we just pour it in there. Alrighty, so as you can see, I'm under the car. That's the back, that's the front. So if you look in the middle here where this exhaust is, you have this pan that's blocking everything. The front oil pan area, I don't think we have to remove that, but we'll see. There's just a couple of torque screws. It looks like there's only 6. Let me get a little closer here. All right, there we go. So now we got this heat shielding off for the midsection, and we can see the transfer case is literally right over there. So let's just pull this off. Over here on the bottom, there is a drain bolt. It looks just like the ones I showed you earlier for the, the replacement parts. Just right across from here to here, that is your secondary bolt, which you're gonna use to actually suck out the remaining fluid, because not all of it's gonna drain out. And then when you fill it back up, this is also gonna act as your fill plug. So, and you're gonna fill about 200 milliliters into this one, but that's not gonna actually fill it out full, because you gotta put a total of 500 milliliters. And there's actually another bolt all the way up top, which I'm gonna show you later on. But for the time being, before we crack this drain bolt open, let's actually open up the filler hole just to ensure that it's, not seized, that it actually can open. Because imagine you drain your fluid and you can't even fill it back up. That would be an absolute nightmare. All right, so here's a better look. What we're gonna do right now is open up this one over here. And you're gonna need about an 8 to 9 millimeter Allen. Now I don't have one, so I'm using a T50 Torx. I don't know if there's any fluid that's gonna come out of this. I just hope not, so it doesn't go in my face. So I'm gonna leave that there just for the time being. I'm not gonna remove it yet. And now I'm gonna work on the actual drain bolt, which is right over here, and we're gonna drain the fluid as much as we can. Oh, it's coming out. Oh, got on my face. But yeah, like I said, not all of the fluid's gonna come out. That's why it ended so quickly. It only took like 5 to 10 seconds, and now it's stopped. So I'm gonna let that kind of drip little by little. And I'm gonna go ahead and crack open the other bolt now that I mentioned earlier, so then we can use a syringe to get that out. Okay, so this is what I got from Amazon. I'm gonna slide this into that filler hole. And I'm gonna try to go as deep as I can, just to get it really in there. And now, just pull this thing. I feel like I'm like drawing blood. So you should be able to extract roughly 200 milliliters. I'm already at like 150, but I'm gonna push this fluid into the drain pan here. It's a lot of bubbles. And I'm gonna do this a few times, probably like 3 times, just to get all of it out. All right, so now it's time to suck up the new fluid here. This is actually pretty nice that it came with about 900 milliliters. We only need 5, so we do have extra if we want to do this again, or if we gotta top it up, or if we want to do a flush. It's so hard to suck it up. I'm gonna just pour it in here. Here we go. And this is the trick to get rid of all the bubbles. You keep it upright like this, right? And then you push, and it airs it out. and that's how you get it to the top. So we have about 250 milliliters. Now I'm gonna get my brand new drain bolt and put this in at 20 Newton meters or around 15 foot-pounds of pressure. Using a torque wrench to make sure that you don't go too much. All right, so now that that's in there, we can fill in the fluid using the other hole with the new fluid. So kind of similar process, we take the tube and we insert it into the hole, and instead of extracting it, we're actually going to be pushing the new fluid into here. Okay, so we're getting there. We're getting close to 200. All right, wow, that's pretty dang accurate. When I hit exactly at 200, I see a little bit of the fluid coming back out. So wow, they are very exact with the measurement. So I'm actually gonna go and just push a little bit more, just to let some of it flow out on purpose, just to ensure that, you know, we got the full coverage. And now we're gonna close up that drain bolt also at 20 Newton meters. Now, the last step of this process is to fill the rest of the fluid, the last 300 milliliters up top. If you guys can look real carefully, I'll try to do a little bit of zoom in the editing because my camera's wide angle. My pointer finger is touching it. That's essentially just a plastic cap. You just want to pop that off, put your tube in here and fill in the rest of the fluid. Just get a good grip of it. Just pull it up. There we go. And this is what it looks like. Literally just a rubber cap. Just like that, you know. And we're gonna just start filling this thing up. So I gotta see where I started. My thing here says around 350. You know, I always like to put a little extra, so then I should stop around 50. If I ever do this again in the future, I would definitely want to get like a hydraulic pump. It's like so heavy. I'm not the strongest guy, by the way. It is because my tube is really narrow, so there's a lot of, you know, buildup of pressure. On top of that, the fluid itself is thick. Okay, so that is pretty much good. Now let's take that tube back out. Now we could take that rubber piece, the cap, and just slide it right over that little thingamajiggy. Run through the gears, reverse, neutral, drive. All right. Can't physically shift through the numbers because we're at a standstill, but everything works pretty well. I can actually feel the gears engaging, and it's fairly smooth. So yeah, works perfectly good. Okay, I just wanted to add this clip into the video. I'm filming this on my phone right now, but I just went on a little drive, and holy cow, this little service did a huge difference. For the past couple months now, this car has been shaking so bad every time I'm trying to get off from a standstill. Anything around 1 to 2,000 RPM in first and second gear literally felt like the car is like it's skipping, and it kind of feels like you're going over speed bumps. And over time, it's gotten way more severe. Like, it was basically unbearable. You know, it felt like the car was like misfiring. But just by changing the fluid in the transfer case, I don't feel any vibration, any shake, and the shifts are so freaking smooth. Of course, I still have to do a couple of more services. I do want to flush the PDK itself and change the internal and external filter, as well as flushing the differential. That should only further enhance the smoothness and reliability of this car, but the transfer case is the main thing, the main culprit that causes these Macans to fail. This car feels literally like it's brand new, right off the lot, and I've never felt this car drive this smooth since the day that I bought it. So hopefully this video was helpful for anyone who is doing research on this. Hopefully that I can give you a clear idea of how to do it. It's not too complicated. Make sure to drop a like and a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you guys want to buy any of the parts that I use in this videos and the supplies, everything will be in the description below. With that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.